Chief, is you right here?
Yeah, this is me over here.
Okay, beautiful. We're going to keep this thing moving. I hope you was able to hear some of the program before we got cut off. But yes, UC is a big story going on. You one of the few who have had a national recognition. Me and you've been in contact, and you've been having a lot of things happening. So I'd like to have you tell the people what's been going on, because you're not a stranger to our program. You're one of our sisters. So how you been doing, first of all?
Well, under normal circumstances, I'm doing fine and blessed. On other circumstances, I'm doing what always the Indians have to do, fight to stay ahead of the enemy.
That's right.
Okay, so when you add it all up, let's just say it's all worked out for the best. It's an honor to be here today. This is my birthday month. Plus, this is Black History Month. And being a Black Indian, I guess we have to share this month. But it's the shortest month in the year, so we have to put a lot in a short period of time.
I like how you put that.
I was listening at the show, and I heard with the Buffalo Soldiers, which a lot of our people idolize what the Buffalo Soldiers mean, and they think it means something to people of color. When I see the Buffalo Soldiers, I see an army that was put together to battle Black Indians that look like me. So I can't contribute an honor to them, because if it was not for the Buffalo Soldiers, Indians wouldn't have been driven off their land in southeast United States, especially down here. I heard in the show when you were talking about the regiments that was here in Louisiana. There's 2 forts. They still have the area where those 2 forts is. And maybe, Drive On, we can do something where you can come down and see those 2 forts.
I would love to. Let's make it happen.
Soldiers actually was. Because it's not that far from where I'm at. Okay? It's walking away back in those days. Is a horse ride or a walk away from us. Okay?
Okay.
I've had students come from around the country, and I've taken them down, even from Bolivia, to see these 2 forts. I brought them in. And they were like, why is this left out the history book? Well, it's really not left out the history book. You just got to know what book is in. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
Get the right book. If you get the right book, you'll get the right story.
That's
now,
right.
you know, Dry Bones, we're not going way back, and I mean to say, go get your book. And normally I'm going to tell a person what book to go get so they can find the facts. See, white America had libraries in their homes, and they would get books printed just for these elite white folks. And they had private libraries. That's why they had the private library, because the truth was always put in the Europeans' private library, not the public library, not the public school. In the university they put together, the Ivy League. The Ivy League got the books that told the truth, okay? That was why these guys went to these Ivy League schools that ran for president, because they was taught the truth. So there's 2 standards of education. One standard of education is for you to labor, and the other standard of education is for you to lead, okay? Now, if you get into the books of labor, you're not going to find the truth. But if you happen to get into the book of lead, now you'll find out the truth. They always knew that the Indians, or the indigenous people of this continent, was black, okay? And they also knew they was very strong, very smart, and there wasn't some people running through the woods throwing no darts. These people were into industries. My grandparents and them had boats, which they called schooners. They were trading with other islands and sailing, okay? So to dumb things down in their book, yes, they were right, like you just run around here with little canoes, fishing and hunting. But they didn't tell you about the industry. They didn't tell you about the thousands of years that our people survived. Right now, when you look into Egypt, there are things that was found in Egypt in the tombs and the pyramids, that the only place these things could have been received is from over here, okay?
That's right.
So, and we're not talking 300 years ago, 400, 500 years ago. We're talking about things they found in the pyramid that date back thousands of years. So there's always been some kind of trade with this continent and that continent, okay? Now, I want to touch up on something real quick. We also talk about soldiers, but we also got to look at the people call themselves Amor, the people of Morocco. You know, everything don't come in the form of a buffalo soldier. They brought in people from other countries, black, brought them in to infiltrate and perpetrate, okay? And they brought the Moors in under the Sundry Act. They could kill, they could steal, they could rob, they could rape, they could punch, and never have to answer to the law. So they came in as really certified gangsters and mobsters, okay? So that's another level of where the blacks invaded. See, I'm glad this Black History Month, that's why I like this show.
That's
because
right.
you're going to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no need to make it look like blacks been the only victim, because blacks have victimized people too.
That's right. That's the truth. That's just the facts. It's just the facts.
Right.
Okay.
And we want to just keep hollering this white people. We talking about white people because that is a trick to keep the white and black enemies and battling on a racial battle when we need to be looking at another battle much deeper, greed. Greed has no color. Okay? So then you bring in the Moors. You bring in the Portuguese. They were dark, curly hair. Infiltrate, perpetrate. Okay? You got the Masons and Shriners. Infiltrate, perpetrate. And then they recruit people out your family. And then all of us have these Masons and Shriners and stuff in our family. Okay? They make them think that they're in a secret society doing something special. What they're doing special is keep an eye on us. Okay? Now, I have family members that's in the Mason and Shriner. But this is what I want to show you, like right now. I haven't been doing any shows, and I told you, I said, look, I'm not doing those shows because somebody's using whatever I say, and they're using it against the people. So I shut up for a while, and I prayed for a while, and I watched a lot. Let me tell you guys this out there. The Buffalo Soldiers is back. The Moors are back. The Shriners and Masons are back. And you know, some of them saying one thing, but look at them. Look at their moves. See what they're trying to do. Let me tell you how they come in the form this time. This time they're in the form of desperation. This time they're in the form of coming into your community or your tribe. There's like a lot of black folks now are organizing them a tribe. And they need to talk to me about that because they're opening themselves up for destruction. They don't know what we've been through as a black tribe to just jump out there and make yourself a target. Okay? It looks like it's good. Now the movement is, you got one set pushing, give up your birth certificate, give up your Social Security card, denounce your citizenship. Okay. That's because people have natural citizenship under the Naturalization Act. Okay? You can't be forced to give up your citizenship. But if you voluntarily give it up, then that's another story. Right. Now, when you give up your citizenship, where do you go? You're not in this country, and you're not accepted in another country. So now you become illegal resident. So the trickery is they're pumping them up on the internet to somebody getting rid of their only paper they have to prove that they have naturalization. And with people being greedy for $1, one way or the other, they're telling them, and you're going to get $1 million. Or they tell them stuff like, you don't have to pay tax, or you can get a house without paying for it. That is stupid. The white folks do pay for houses. The Indians on reservation is having it hard. And how is these black folks who have lived as black, colored, Negro, African American is going to jump out there, and because you get rid of your birth certificate, now you're going to be wealthy? Think, America. Think. Why are you ashamed to be an American? This is our country. The Americas belong to the indigenous people. The people who came here, they're the ones, not the Americans. So why would you separate from that? Next move, they got a movement going through telling people don't believe in God. I read a thing on Facebook last night. There's no God, no devil, no angel, no hell, no heaven. Well, when you take away the cornerstone of the black community, the building can fall easily. And only thing black people have had to bring them through all of this have been their spirituality. So if I can eliminate your spirituality, I can easily destroy. So the real movement is to destroy your spirituality. Because they done found out what keeps us going is our connection, spirituality, to God. Now I see black folks saying we're going to worship God the way the Indians did. Now I'm just saying it the way they're saying it. And they're up there talking about praying to the stars and the moons and the sun. That's not what they were doing. We honor the sun. We honor the stars. We honor the moon. The moon is that which helps your food to grow, and the sun and the rain. You're not worshiping those things. You honor that, not worship. We got people so confused, and I'm looking on the internet. Young people grew up in spiritual families. Now it's like there is no God. This is, this is to break your cornerstone. Your spirituality is all you ever had. Spirituality is all the Indians had. It's all the slaves had through slavery. This is what have brought us thus far. But if the enemy can break that from you, now they got you. Because spirituality is the only thing that brings us together. Okay? So all the lies been taught.
So spirituality is universal. Will be said to be spirituality would be universal.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's something within you. It's not something somebody can destroy unless you let them into your subconscious mind and destroy. And how you get into a person's subconscious mind is repetitiously showing them things with their eyes that go into their mind that they begin to meditate on and believe, and before you know it, it's into their subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, that's just right on 101. Go ahead, sister. That's 101 right
So right now, they're using the internet and subconsciously training our people to become radical. And they don't know who they radical against. They're just becoming radical. And at the same time, they're putting laws in place. Okay?
Right.
One law is the Patriot Act. Under Trump the other day, he just did a declaration. When you look at the Patriot Act and the declaration, you got a movement out there telling people to decolonize the United States. Okay, decolonize the United States, meaning you trying to go up against the United States radically. Okay? So, under the Patriot Act, you don't even have to have a trial. You start doing this, they can just start picking you up, putting you in some kind of jail.
Right. Now, hold on. Stay with me there. Now, that's under the Patriot Act, which happened under 9/11. Okay, it was instantly placed in, already there. It's like it was prepared. Boom. We had the 9/11 event. Boom. This Patriot Act was right there at the table next day. Takes away all kind of power from a lot of the people. So you're saying, let's make this clear to people, sister, because you Cheif Warhorse. They can declare war on the citizen.
If the citizen is rising up against the country, yes.
Right.
It's called homeland terrorist. Right. Many movements going on throughout the black community.
There you go.
And with all these different movements, no one has sit down logically and communicate. You got internet Indian tribes, okay? Haven't sit down and met with the government. Don't want to meet with the government. I'm listening to what they're saying. They don't want to meet with nobody. With the government, well, how are they going to survive in this country if they're telling people to leave everything, denounce your citizenship? What do you have? They're building a wall to keep some people out of here, and we got some people that want to be kicked out. You got a movement to go back to Ghana. Okay, when you get out of here and go to Ghana, what if you weren't from Ghana? It ain't gonna be no, I want to go back to the United States. Somebody got them playing this game. I've been hearing them say the little slogan, drive on chess, not checkers. I'm saying they playing checkers on a chessboard. Okay? The black folks just jumping from one thing to the other. They Washita, they this, they that. That's checkers. The white man set this board up for chess. So all these checkers, because they've been exposed to a little knowledge. But because you've been exposed to the knowledge, have you mastered the move? Because right now you're playing with master players. Okay? So don't think that you sit there on your computer and you found some information that's factual, that you're going to go to the United States filing these lawsuits in mass numbers like a lot of them doing. Because actually what you're doing is giving the country a list of people where they know to start picking up. The infiltrator-perpetrator job, as I was fighting to bring the black Indian to a better awareness, someone got out and decided to just start organizing tons of black tribes that doesn't have no status to it. Okay? So that kind of like throws in some doubt on the blacks who say, I'm an Indian now. You see what I'm saying? You can organize so many tribes and nations that does not line up with history. Okay? See, why is the black people organizing tribes and nations? Because you got land patents, that doesn't make you a tribe nor a nation. I don't want to have federal recognition. I have not put in for federal recognition. Okay? Mm-hmm. I have communications federally with the government agencies and state agencies. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's different than federal recognition. I'm not under the BIA. Okay? The BIA used to be under the War Department. Okay? Prisoners of war. So when you're under the BIA, you actually underneath the government controlling your land, your money, and everything. Okay? My grandfather didn't go to Oklahoma because he wasn't for that. So we stayed here with dual citizenship. I have citizenship in my nation and citizenship in the United States. Okay? I have dual citizenship. That was a part of the treaty. They promised us that with the treaty, that we could have dual citizenship. I see a movement where they're telling people once you get a tribe, you can denounce your citizenship in the United States. I'm not doing that. I don't recommend nobody do that. Okay?
Right.
Now, yes, I've had White House roundtables. Yes, I've had letters where President Obama has recognized me as the Honorable Queen Cheif Warhorse. I deal with Homeland Security in our area. All of that. I deal with my state government.
That is important what you're saying, because that game has been played on a lot of people about giving this up, signing some papers, doing all these things. I was involved with a lot of people doing that as well, and I thought it was. I was hanging. I'm gonna tell you this, Chief. Me and you talk. I was always told, go see what your enemy talking about if it's your enemy. At least hear what they saying. So I used to go to the Patriots Tea Party meetings, and I noticed that they had certain. They wouldn't sound like racist, like people say. They sounded like they was against the government of denouncing their citizens. So the Native Americans got a special gift because right now it looks like with the casinos, now I heard the Native Americans are now may get into the marijuana because that is the actual cash crop of America. All the presidents. Washington didn't have cotton; they had hemp. Hemp was the number one thing grown in this region. Obviously, they know that through Mexico. What's your take on the Indian nation now about to get richer? Except the black Native Americans seem not to get involved with that. I don't know if you know more about that or not. You can give us some more information because they're going to be super rich. Some of these tribal chiefs in certain regions once this thing comes down the pipe.
Also got to look at this. The casino didn't make the reservation super rich. Believe me, the casino made
certain people. They made certain chiefs rich.
And certain chiefs. I like how you say that. Certain chiefs get rich. They people still don't have much or nothing.
Right.
It makes these same mafia people rich that got rich off the alcohol by legalizing it. So legalizing this is gonna make the same white people rich. Okay, Dr. Motep is a very good friend of mine, and I met him through both of us speaking. We both were speakers in Georgia one year, and I had read his book, but I had never met him. And just so happened, he and I was on a program together. Right. And I explained this to him this way, and I'm explaining it to the public. I said, did you mean black people, or who a white man called black people, or Negro-looking people, not African people on this continent? I say, I agree with your book. I disagree with your title. And he's a very good friend of mine. And
both. Mm-hmm.
I spent years with him till he says, you know what, Chief? You are right. That is a word given to us. But the word Africa is no different than calling this, let me find something for instance. Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's the discoverer's name. Now, we're going to have to go back to the Catholic Church. For you to sail the 7 seas, you have to go through the Pope and get approval through the Catholic Church to be a conqueror or discoverer.
Right.
When you discover it, you have to register it back with the Pope. Okay? Now, right now people say, what you feel about the church? I know the Catholic Church played a major role in the destruction of my people in this country. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that the Catholic Church have not fixed nor removed that doctrine of discovery.
Right.
And doctrine of discovery gave these people, like the people who came from Morocco, the right to say that this was theirs. But first they would have to declare that there were no one living there, or it was paganistic people living there. So the Indians then became underneath what they would call paganistic people, which gave the Christians the right, as they say, to claim. Okay? Now, with that discovery comes names, just like Afrikaners over in Africa. So we're using names, which the man who Africa is called of, he is a Sicilian. Christopher Columbus, Sicilian, who were not people from here, but they was from Europe. Okay.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me, because I want to inject with 1 minute. Just 1 minute, so because we want you to get dialogue. They're from Europe, but our black people, being that we're so close in proximity from Africa to the Mediterranean, you don't think we're selling into those areas and having conjugal visits with these women that could create a light-skinned Christopher Columbus or a brown-skinned Christopher Columbus? Obviously, he wasn't pure Swedish or blue-eyed. So we're seeing a mixture. So we're saying that now. I'm going to ask you as a woman, wouldn't it be strange that the women of that time was giving themselves over to these men to create a new species? Because obviously that's what the indigenous sisters did. They had intercourse with these beings to create new beings. Would that be correct or not? What's in your opinion?
Some of that, I would say some of that could have been voluntarily, and some of that could have been rape.
Okay.
You can go both ways.
No, I'm not saying it can't, but that makes sense. That makes sense. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's what happens. Somewhere along the line, the mixture comes in. But if we're going to do that, we also got to look at the Asian people that came here. They end up being absorbed into the race also, okay? Let's do this. We're doing it now. When I go to Walmart, I see a mixture of Asian and black, Asian and white, going in with their kids shopping, black and European, black and Asian, going in shopping. So it's happening now. It's
happening now.
Just put it back in, into the reality. So that's how it happens. It's not that everybody been raped. Some people fell in love. Okay.
Yeah, that's a beautiful concept, because I want you to say what you said. Some people fell in love with these people, and it happens today. It happens today.
Right now, we should not separate from our spirituality to God, the Creator. Okay. If it wasn't for Him, my people wouldn't be here, and I won't be sitting here today. We are not getting to a bickering of who's serving God under what religion. That's just different highways. Okay, the most important thing is, are we serving God, the Creator of everything? Economics. Instead of breaking up into these different fragments of movement, we need to be coming to the table on a mass discussion of how to empower our economics. Okay, and what do we have available that we can create businesses to start empowering ourselves to jobs? But with all these sidetracks of these Washita movements and Moore's movement and getting something for free, we're not talking empowerment. I think we need to come together, and maybe Dry Bone will be willing to do it. I'm all for calling together an empowerment meeting, okay, where we can create businesses within here, where we can do trade with other countries. We keep digging into what paperwork was filed, and when the only thing we need to look at is the doctrine of discovery, okay? The Constitution and everything. The foundation of the Constitution of the United States is the doctrine of discovery. So that is the main thing that needs to be redone or revisited by the Pope and the Catholic Church. Okay? Gunpowder was a major trade prior to even the railroad coming through. Okay? And then after the railroad, gunpowder became a major explosive that was needed, which they also brought more Chinese, which we don't see the Asian people showing up that came in here in the 1800s. Because they have been absorbed into a lot of the Native American tribes. But along with the trade comes people, is what I want to say. And every time we go into a trade, we end up with a new ethnic group coming in. When they come in, they live amongst us. Then they begin to marry with us, okay? So you're diluting and also trading at the same time. Some of us, what you would call intermarried, okay, which that's what China do. That's why all the Chinese look like they look and all the Japanese look the way they look. Is because for thousands of years they intermarried with Chinese. But when they came over here, if you look at a lot of the tribes in the northern part of the United States, you will see that Asian look. Okay? So, along with trade comes the sacrifice of losing your tribe status or your tribe feature. And you adopt a new feature, okay? And then those people a lot of times either end up trading back with their countries or end up like we are today. Let me do something for example. I was looking on the internet. I see the Indians have become so white their hair is blonde, okay? There was no blonde-haired Indians they were talking about in history books, okay? So intermarrying with trading brought about this. So when we start talking about trading, we got to look at right now, people are trading in Africa. Look how many people from here have married people from Africa since we began to do business with Africa. Am I right?
Right.
So
since the beginning, since the going to Ghana through repatriation during the Lincoln days, we've been having this region over there intermingling with the Africans as well. That's why Ghana is so English in so many ways.
That's why I want us to not just look at black and white. Okay.
Right, we can't. Right, we can't.
Because if we look at black and white, we have been overtaken more in the black communities of Indians and black people by our own people. Okay, while we're on that, let me touch on something that I've been going through. Number one, I want to clear the air on something. Cyril Neville is not the ambassador of the tribe.
Let me make that. Well, okay, I heard you say Aaron Neville of the Neville brothers.
Not Aaron, Cyril.
Cyril
not
Neville.
The ambassador. He is not the ambassador to Cheif Nation Choctaw Tribe.
Okay.
He was appointed by me and never carried anything out. He was appointed to be like a promoter to the tribe. Okay.
Right.
Immediately, within less than a month of the appointment, his wife began to try to organize us. And immediately, his wife have been, her and several other people, on a crusade. They even got him a charter to overtake our tribe. This is when you're letting people in that look like you, okay? And we have suffered for the last, right at 9 years, dealing with the issues of trying to keep up with what them and some renegades are doing. And so they have hooked up with this man named Hemok. And this man is known for running scams, okay? And they're going around the country. I had a chief out of Oklahoma call me. People call me out of Mississippi. People have called me out of Florida, where they were using my name.